Hello, viewers. Welcome back. Tonight I have a friend's watch that he lent me for review. This was a gift to his son, and his son was kind enough to agree to let me take a look at it. Anyway, he got it as a gift from his pop, and I don't remember. Actually, I never did ask what the occasion was. Probably a birthday or something. But he's a good kid, and he deserves it. So let's get into what we have here. I have a Citizen Eco Drive. This is a limited edition watch, so it comes in a little bit more special packaging than what I've seen in some of their other watches. I'm going to go ahead and pull this lid off so you have the logo embossed into this outer cardboard box. And then you have the lid holds this flap up. We'll pull out the inner box. Set that aside for a second so I can show you the information this comes with. Little wrist check tonight. Wearing my Pagani chronograph on the Gakoda rally strap. I've done a review on this, so feel free to go back into my archives and check it out. Great watch. Anyway, that's it on that. All right. We have a pretty thick manual. This watch has a lot going on, and you'll see why in a little bit. It's in 3 languages, US, French, and Espanol. Set that aside. Here is the authenticity card, limited edition, embossed into the card there. And it is 2,500 pieces, and this is 1546 of that 2,500. Okay, pretty neat. Watch comes with a 5-year limited warranty. This is your general instructions, also in 3 languages. And it's a quick start guide. And gives you plenty of information on maintenance, how it works. All right, set that aside. It even comes with a CD-ROM. Like I said, this watch has a lot going on, and I am not going to be able to get to all of its functions because this is a watch I think you need to spend some time with before you can understand how everything works, but hopefully I'll give a pretty good overview. Let's put this all back in here and get to the watch. We have a lot to cover. This is going to be a longer video than what I normally do. Here is the inner box. Also has the Citizen logo with the Eco Drive embossed on there. Nice hinged presentation box. Little latch there. You can pause this and read all that if you want to. I'm not going to read it all off for you. So, more neat stuff. Set that back in here. And let's get to the watch. The watch is on this pillow. And what we have, Citizen Eco Drive Perpetual Chrono AT Limited Edition. This is a pretty neat watch. Like I said, there's a lot going on, but let's get to the specs first of all. It is a sapphire crystal with AR coating. I think it's a clear AR. I don't see any hint of any other color. It is 42 millimeter diameter case. I measured it here because it's hard to get a diameter with the pushers and the lugs and all that. So this is where I took the measurement, and that's the same as what the Citizen website shows. That is 46.7 millimeter from the crown to the opposite side of the case. This is a push-pull crown. It is not screw down. And I'm not going to pull that out yet because a lot happens when you do that. So we'll get onto that in a little bit. It is 48.7 millimeters lug to lug. So it's not huge lug to lug. So you don't have to have a really big wrist to wear this watch, even though it has a lot of presence. 24 millimeter between the lugs, and I don't think you'd want to change this strap, at least I wouldn't. It's genuine crocodile, and I'll show you that in a little bit. What else do we have here? The loom is blue. Let me go ahead and charge that up, and then we'll kill the light. I don't know that Seiko has a name for their loom. You know, Citizen. Seiko has the Lumibrite. Rolex has the Chromolite. And, Swiss watches have the Super Luminova. And this is, looks just like BGW9 Super Luminova. I don't know what Citizen calls it. So, if you look, it seems like there's a little color variation in the 1 and 2 and the 9 and 10. And I suspect that is, if I could get this thing to focus in the dark, it's really hard to do. Anyway, I suspect that is to help you with orienting the 12 o'clock position at night when you can't see the rest of the watch. It just will not focus now. Okay, enough of that. I'll turn the light back on. I think you get the gist. Okay, what else do we have here? 200 meters water resistant. It is 12.7 millimeters thick. So it's not a particularly thick watch, but it's not thin either. It's just a good sized watch. Let me get some of this, my smudges off of here. No matter how much you wash your hands, boy, shiny objects pick up any little bit of oils. Okay. It's obviously gotten some wear on this, but nothing horrible at all. It still looks great. Okay, let's open up this. We have a deployant clasp on genuine crocodile, and we'll unhook this catch here. Pull that out. We'll get a look at the back of the strap here. Citizen Japan, 24 millimeter. Doesn't say millimeter, but I think y'all get the idea. Genuine crocodile. And we have some information back here. Limited edition. Perpetual crown. This is not a screw down case back. It is snapped on. So due to that, they say do not open. Service center repair only. I think that's the only way they're going to warranty your water resistance. Has your movement reference, the E650-S075980, serial number, Japan movement. I think the GN-4WS is the case model. And water resistance 20 bar, which is 200 meters. Okay. And let's get back over here. All right, we have a tachometer bezel, which is fairly common on nicer chronographs. You have applied indices that are filled with the loom. You have a framed date window. The date is nicely centered in the window. You can see where it says radio controlled there. Down here at the bottom, Japan movement. It has the movement reference number on the dial. Over here where it says on, SMT, and off, that's your daylight savings time indication to quickly identify whether or not you're where you have the watch set. And I'll show you how to check that here in a little bit. Up here, you have no and RX. The no means you have not currently received a radio signal, and the RX is where you can force it. Now, if it does receive the signal, it'll tell you over here, the second hand will point to high, medium, or low signal strength. So that all has meaning. All right, let's get to the sub-dials. You have a 24-hour dial at the 10 o'clock position. You have a day pointer on this function dial, and if you look at the graduated scale to the top left of that dial, that is going to tell you what your capacitor strength is, your power reserve. And your 6 o'clock dial is where you set your time zone. Now, you can see there's only 5 time zones labeled: London, New York City, Chicago, Denver, and LAX. I'm guessing if you bought this watch in another country, you would use the A-TM, and that is alternate time. So you also have a indication for CHR, which is to use the chronograph. And if you see the ALM there just below the center of the watch, that's to set your alarm. So let's quickly get into the chronograph. You pull out the crown to the first position. Second hand goes straight to 6 o'clock position. Now you turn. Now, as you're turning that function dial, your watch is going to try to go to a different time zone. But when you pop the crown back in, it'll go back to the time zone you're in. I'm sorry, I set it on alarm. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to put it on chrono. Okay. Now the second hand will go to the 12 o'clock position. And once the watch gets stopped, all right, now it's working at current time. Now you can use the chronograph. And your function dial over here that was using the pointing at what day it is or the power reserve, that now becomes your minute counter for the chrono. It will count for 60 minutes. Now, I don't know if it restarts again past 60 minutes or if it stops. Either way, that is what that function is for, and we will recenter the second hand, come back out here and go back to our time zone. And now we're back on current time. You see that function needle pointed straight to Sunday. Now, if I push this, I think this is the B pusher. This is the A pusher. This is the B pusher. That dial goes to the power reserve. And the second hand points up at no, which means it currently has not received the signal. Now, did you see if it popped right back over there? The last signal strength that it picked up was M for moderate signal strength. Now, let me hit it again. Now, if I hold it, now it goes to RX, where I'm trying to force it to receive a signal. Now, really the best time to receive the signal is at night. You put it on a windowsill near a window, and it will pick up the signal over the course of the evening and reset your time for however minor correction may have been needed. Then you hold that pusher again, and it'll just start the second hand back to where it was supposed to be in the first place. I guess I haven't finished looking at everything on the dial. If you look at the textured pattern in the center of the dial here, that is where the solar panel lives. Now, the cool thing about a solar watch, or like a kinetic quartz that Seiko makes, is that they use a capacitor, not a battery. Capacitor all on its own wouldn't last any more than about 6 months. Battery might last you a few years, but once the battery's done, the battery's done. The capacitor will last a lot longer than the battery, but it'll last about 6 months on a full charge. Now, this solar panel picks up ambient light. It doesn't have to be direct sunlight. So this will continue to charge. If you get a full charge and leave it in complete darkness and never move it, I think it'll last about 6 months. That's my understanding of how the capacitor works. And then you just charge it up with light and let it pick up the atomic signal or the radio signal from the atomic clock, and you'll be back in business. So let's see, what else can we look at here? Let me pull the crown out to the second position. And if you look to where over there it says on, it went to daylight savings time. Now I can change that and turn it off. Now it will go back an hour to fall and winter time. And I think I have, there it goes. Now it's back to, so if you need to change your daylight savings time, you don't have to go through a big, long process to get it done. You just pull the crown out, hit this button, and either turn it on or turn it off, and you're back on your daylight savings time or your standard time. There's not a whole lot more I can say about this. As I said, the other functions, I'm not going to go into the alarm. That's a little bit of a tedious process, and I can't hear it anyway because of my tinnitus. It's a very faint beep. If I hold it right up to my ear, I can hear it. But like I said, this is a pretty special watch, being a limited edition and it being a gift from my buddy to his kid. And being that there's just a limited number, this is something that I'm sure he'll cherish for a long time. I'm going to take off my Pagani and put this on and give you a wrist shot. First, I will have to put this buckle to where it will fit me. And I think I had it in this position here earlier. And pop that open. And the cool thing about this is you can feed the tail of the strap through the keeper, so you don't go folding it and wearing, putting excessive wear on it. And that's a little bit tight for me. But anyway, I have a 7.5-inch wrist. This is about a perfect size for me. And I think anybody with over a 6.5-inch wrist, this watch would look just great on. I don't think I mentioned the weight. I think it's 91 grams I came up with on my ounce scale that I use and then did the conversion. But anyway, I appreciate y'all for watching and letting me share this with you. And I appreciate my buddy for lending it to me to add more content to my channel. I've never asked this before, but I think I'm going to start asking because this looks like something I'm going to enjoy doing for a long time. Please like and subscribe, and if you want to hit the notification bell, that's fine too. I do have some more watches that I plan on reviewing in the future, and again, I enjoy this, and I'm grateful for the viewership that I have gotten so far. It's fun, and I hope y'all have a great evening. I'm just going to stop messing with that and fidgeting. Until the next watch review, y'all, adios.